If you enjoy our podcast, please like and subscribe and consider becoming a digital subscriber to the Albuquerque Journal to help us bring you more content like this. You can find this episode and all of our podcasts on the Albuquerque Journal website, abqjournal.com, as well as YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify. See the show notes for a discount code on a digital subscription. Thank you for supporting the Albuquerque Journal, New Mexico's leading news.
Hey everyone, welcome to the latest edition of the Business Outlook podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Narvaiz, Journal Business Editor. I want to start off by thanking our sponsor, CNM. Today on the show, I have Kylie Garcia and Justin Garcia. No relation. They're our new business reporters. We talk about their beats, what they do in their off time, and sort of how they're going to approach the job. Enjoy the show.
CNM is truly one college with infinite possibilities in tech and data sciences. CNM offers programs where everyone can learn about software, apps, or how to build websites. You can also choose from AI programs and machine learning, the Internet of Things, and so much more. CNM, one college, infinite possibilities, and a proud sponsor of the Albuquerque Journal's Business Outlook.
I'm actually joined today by two new business reporters we have here at the Albuquerque Journal. I have Kylie Garcia here on the right and Justin Garcia here on the left. No relation that I know of. Have you guys been able to find out if you're related at all?
It seems unlikely, but anything's possible.
I've known many Garcias, so I don't think so.
Yeah, there are quite a bit of Garcias out here in New Mexico. So, Kylie Garcia is going to be covering retail and real estate for us, mostly in the Albuquerque area. And Justin is going to be covering technology, the national labs, and healthcare for us in Albuquerque and also across the states. Before we hop into some questions about your beats, I just want you to introduce yourselves to our guests, tell them where you're from, where you went to school, and what you studied. Let's start with you, Justin.
Yeah, so I'm actually from the area. I was born in Albuquerque, went to high school out in the other side of the mountain in Moriarty. Pretty much lived all over the state, lived in Santa Fe, lived in Las Cruces for the last 4 or 5 years, and went to the University of New Mexico. Matt and I went to school together, and came up here this year, and excited to do some new things.
Nice.
Kylie?
Yeah, so my name's Kylie Garcia. I am a born and raised New Mexican, was born and raised in Grants, New Mexico. Attended Grants High School there, and then went on to attend the community college, NMSU Grants Community College there for about 2 years. Also was the reporter for the Cibolo Citizen for about 2.5 years there. And then I went down to Las Cruces to finish my education at New Mexico State University. Majored in communication studies, minor in journalism, and a second minor in social media management. And then got picked up by the New Mexico Local News Fund to do a year-long fellowship with the Santa Fe New Mexican. And now I'm at the Albuquerque Journal, and I live in Albuquerque now.
Nice. Yeah, so what were some of your past stops, Justin? I know you worked at the Daily Lobo, the student-run newspaper at UNM. Both of us did. Mm-hmm. But I know you had a couple of other stops as well along the way.
Yeah, after the Daily Lobo, I finished up college in 2020, kind of right at the height of the early pandemic. And my partner and I were like, well, we really want to get out of town. And we kind of overshot that a little bit, and we ended up moving to Scottsbluff, Nebraska, which the joke there is it's a great place to be from. So we were there for about a year, and then we came down to southern New Mexico, West Texas, lived in El Paso for a little bit. I worked at the Las Cruces Sun News, then transitioned over to the Las Cruces Bulletin, and it's a tough media environment down there because there's so few reporters and journalists. But on the other side of that, it's nice to sort of be in a space where you can kind of write about everything and anything. So,
between the Sun News and the Bulletin, what types of stories did you cover?
Oh, man, I covered pretty much everything. Primarily, I covered government stories. I covered a lot of crime down there. Towards the end of my time, I ended up covering a lot of healthcare-related stuff, or just a lot of, and especially towards when I was leaving, it was a lot of, well, how are a lot of these local institutions reacting to some of the changes at the federal government? That ended up being kind of my beat the last 3-4 months. So a lot of everything.
Kylie, I know you were working at the New Mexican for close to a year here, off of a local news fellowship through the New Mexico Local News Fund. What were you doing at the Santa Fe, New Mexican? What types of stories did you cover there?
Yeah, so kind of similar to Justin, I covered a little bit of everything. I was shared between the news side, the Santa Fe, New Mexican newspaper, but then also their arts and culture magazine, Pasatiempo. So for Pasatiempo, I was covering the galleries, arts and culture, cool family, fun, friendly events. And then on the news side, I was doing features. And then for about 4.5 months, I was also serving as the business reporter, filling a vacancy they had in that position for about 4.5 months. So businesses opening, closing, new people filling new business positions. So yeah, a lot of everything.
Justin, I want to talk to you about your beats. So healthcare, the national labs, technology. There are some interesting areas popping up right now, like quantum computing. These types of things have and will have a huge effect on the state's economy. How do you see yourself covering these beats for the journal?
Yeah, so I think, we're having this conversation, and it's Kylie and I's third day on the job, and one of the things that's really kind of cropped up for me is that something that I really want to focus on is demystifying a lot of this stuff and talking about it in a way that's talking about, especially in the tech and health spaces, right? Talking about it in a way that's understandable and relatable, and frankly is something that idiots like me would be able to read. And so that's in the early stages, that's kind of one of the things I really want to focus on.
Yeah. Kylie, retail and real estate are such important topics to cover in the state's largest city. What kind of stories do you want to tell? And maybe how soon can we get an update on In-N-Out?
Oh yeah, I know everyone really wants to know that one. So yeah, the stories I'm excited to tell in the retail space is just how people got there, the why behind how they landed in this spot of opening this business, and how they just what their business journey looked like. I think it adds a lot of meaning to behind just the simple, this place opened. I think people really care. I think business is personal a lot of times, and people care about why someone is going on this mission, why it's important to them, why should they care about it. And so I'm excited to tell people those stories. And like Justin said, kind of simplify the business jargon and help people to kind of be able to decipher through all of that as well. And as far as In-N-Out goes, haven't been able to get to that yet, third day on the job, but definitely will be on my radar soon.
Awesome. I want to get to some more personal questions again. Let's, I'll ask the both of you, outside of work, when you're not chasing stories, what do you guys like to do? I'll start with Justin.
As soon as I'm done for the day, I'm going to try to squeeze in some range time. I'm an avid golfer. Which is something I did a little bit as a kid, but it kind of picked up about a year ago. So I still have a plus 20 handicap, so make sure to cut that part out. But I think, that's just been my favorite. That's just been something I picked up recently, and I've just really fallen in love with it.
Kylie?
I also enjoy golf, but I actually haven't played in a really long time. I'm ashamed to say. Me and my dad, that's like our special thing. So as soon as the weather gets warm, I plan to get back out on the course. But my favorite thing I would say is just going to the mountains. I think that's honestly the place where I can most relax and just decompress and get away. And so my favorite spot is just being in the mountains. I miss Mount Taylor being from Grants. It was a beautiful mountain, but I'm excited to kind of explore the Sandias a little bit more.
Kylie, and from my understanding, right, you played golf in high school.
Yes, all 4 years of high school I played on the Grants Lady Pirates golf team.
Nice. Well, I guess a natural follow-up is just to ask each of you what your favorite courses are.
Well, I just moved here, so I don't have a favorite course yet. I live about 10 minutes away from Los Altos, so that'll probably end up being my favorite one.
Yeah.
When I was down south, Las Cruces has 4 golf courses in its immediate vicinity. But the one I've really, really fallen in love with is actually the golf course at New Mexico Tech.
Oh, yeah.
That one, it was nice because I could meet my friends kind of halfway and stuff, and we could play together, and it's just a really beautiful course. So that's probably my home course.
Kylie?
For me, it would have to be Cochiti Golf Course. It just amazes me how a golf course located way out in the desert, it's literally nothing but just brown and dry everywhere, could be so green. It just amazes me every time I go out there. It's a beautiful course. Definitely have to dress up and feel kind of fancy out there, but it's a nice one.
Last question for you guys. We'll start with you, Justin. How would someone close to you describe you in one word?
I think, well, I think if they're close to me in a positive way, they might describe me. I hope they would describe me as thoughtful and compassionate. In kind of like a work sense, I think I'd like to think that people would describe me as, someone who's diligent and someone who shows up every day. So that's been my goal. That's been my career goal.
What about you, Kylie?
I would say the word I often hear, again, from people that think positively of me is probably wise. I try to approach each, task in life with wisdom, whether it be personal life situations or work situations, just really being thoughtful about the way I make decisions in regard to that task, and thinking about how would I want to be interviewed, or how would I want someone to tell my story. And so I try to have wisdom when working through all of the information that people give me to include in a story.
Awesome. Well, Kylie, Justin, thanks for coming on the show. And, here soon we're hoping to have you guys host some of these things. So, yeah, appreciate it.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to talking with people.